Happy New Year 2025. Today is the 1st of January as I'm filming this. We'll see when I post it. So this video is going to be a sort of part 2 to part 1, which was 24 things I did in 2024. And now we're going to talk about 2025 and we're going to set up some goals. I've been really inspired by the girlies online who are setting their word of the year for the next year every single year, and it's been going on for a little while. I've seen several people do it last year already, and sometimes it's not just a word, sometimes it's an entire sentence or a quote or whatever it is that represents who they want to be or what they want their life to look like in the next year to come. And then another thing that feels like it's been an influence on me recently is how many videos I've recently seen on underconsumption or Project Pan or all of these things that are about spending less money and just sort of utilizing what you already have and just going against the flow of advertisement and what you're being advertised all the time and just the constant flow of ads telling you to buy. So I feel like this is clearly in response to the fact that the economy is absolute shit right now and a lot of people feel poorer than they would have a few years ago on the same salary just because the price of living has gone up. And clearly we've seen those trends coming in, such as going back to your natural hair color has become very trendy in 2024, and that is such a response as well to the fact that dyeing your hair and bleaching your hair costs so much money and we just cannot afford it anymore. So trivial things have gone out of the window. Another example of this is in France. Apparently people are buying less champagne and are buying more alternatives like Crémant, which is made the same way, just not from the region of Champagne. And it's just as good and is a lot cheaper. So there's a lot of trends that we can see that are a clear indication that we are not well in terms of the economy, in terms of our finances, and the way that we're trying to respond to that is by spending less money on trivial things, on things that won't last as long. And that's exactly what I actually would like my year 2025 to look like. Not to say that I don't want to spend money at all, because it is a pleasure of mine. I love spending money. There's a little bit of satisfaction every time I do. But what I'd like to do instead in 2025 is be more conscious of what I'm spending money on, how I'm utilizing my money, my time, everything, and just in all aspects of my life, trying to take this less is more philosophy, more in the sense of quality over quantity. So my word of the year, I chose a Swedish word called lagom, and I'm probably butchering the pronunciation, but I think it's a philosophy that a lot of people know about. If you don't, I think the word initially means just the right amount, and it's this idea that with just the right amount, it is enough. Now, there's probably other ways to interpret this word, and maybe I'm not talking about the correct way or the correct interpretation, but I'm thinking of it almost in the sense of the word épuré in French, which is more like refined, and the idea is curating things. So instead of overspending, overbuying, having so many things, so many items, having only a smaller collection of items that is very high quality and things that I truly want and truly desire. So yes, that is sort of the focus I'd like to have in 2025 in more than just the buying aspect of my life, but in other ways as well. But as usual, I have started a little Notion page, and I think I'm gonna spend the next 10 minutes or so refining it into actual goals, see if I can rearrange some things and make it aesthetic and just make it into a little list of goals. But without further ado, let's get into the Notion page. I have set up a new Notion page called 2025 Goals. All I've done is just put a cover, a little emoji, a title, and then I started writing, first of all, my little reflection about what I want my year to be about. So I started writing less is more, épuré, peu mais bien, lagom, and then longer term thinking, just in terms of this is about my word / sentence of the year. And then I started writing down a little bullet list. So these were in the wrong order to start with. And then I just moved them around to match with each other. So that's the idea. Spending less money to do more later. So saving for bigger things. For instance, a big holiday. Also spending more quality time with people I love and I want to see. And then also this buying thing that I was talking about. Less items but better quality. Focusing on luxury items that I really, really want. And so I started thinking about, for instance, tangible goals that are linked to some of these things, including reading 25 books, for instance. I want to reduce the number of books that I normally read per year. So last year I read 33 and my goal was 35. But each year it's been declining a little bit, and I think it's because I listen to myself a little bit more and I know when I'm in the mood for generally reading versus writing versus doing something else that is productive that I want to do. And I can't separate my mind into all of these different things all the time. So I know there are months I don't read at all, and then there are months I go on a holiday and I read a lot. So instead I'm gonna say 25 books, but quality books. So I've been doing a lot of rereading or sort of Kindle Unlimited books that are not great quality, and I still want to read those. That's not what I'm saying, but I don't want to count them as the 25 books anymore. All I'm saying is I would like to also read books that are teachable moments, that books that I really remember several months later and I think about often, books that have a bigger impact on me than these ones that are a little bit more for pure pleasure, but like sort of what my friend Anna calls popcorn books. I'd like to spend money on clothes that I truly want, and I definitely overspent last year, so this is sort of part of this idea of maybe having a goal in mind for some more luxury items, so slightly more expensive items that I'd like to save for, such as I really love the Cezanne Clyde khaki trench coat. I think it's beautiful, but I think it costs about 300 quid and I really can't afford that in one go. So the idea is, instead of buying a bunch of smaller items from Zara, for instance, then I could save to buy one bigger item that costs more money and would hopefully last me a much longer time. And then when it comes to writing, I very much want to finish some things, including the draft 4 of the first book of The Art of Summoning Demons, so that I could maybe start the first draft of the second book that I really want to write. Then there's some house stuff I want to save for, such as we've got a garden wall that has been eaten by ivy throughout the years and we need to repair it. I'd like a new sink in the bathroom because there's a crack through that one. All of these things, by the way, were existing when we moved in this house. There were already problems. New stovetop, same thing. It was already broken when we first moved in. As in, you can light it up, but you need a lighter. The clicky thing that gives the spark doesn't work. And a Velux window, which costs a lot of money. And especially if I want a good one with more whatever triple, quadruple glazing thing I need to make sure that there's nothing coming in through it. So yeah, all of these things are a bit more practical items. Same as like, I really want an all-inclusive holiday in September, so I want to save towards that. And I want to be able to invest about 200 quid a month in my Vanguard account. I did just set this up to look a little bit nicer. So now we have a little cover, a little icon, and then I've downloaded this image of the word lagom and the explanation that it's the Swedish concept of having just the right amount, and then sort of the other terms that go with it in my mind. And then I've separated my page into this word of the year, smaller column, and these two columns on mindset goals and tangible goals. My mindset goals, I'm going to start with, I think, a heading 3. And I'm just going to call it writing. So I'm just going to translate what I had written into actual little goals. Less word count based challenges, more high quality writing. So this is to go against sort of the toxic productivity of writing loads of words that end up being trashed anyway. And I just want to focus a little bit more on writing words that feel more like a first draft or second draft rather than a zero draft, where everything is a little bit more outline almost and just not very elegant prose or anything of the sort. I kind of want to write better from the get-go because I don't like revising as much as I like drafting. So I'd like for my drafts to be higher quality to start with so that I spend less time on the revisions. So the next one is focusing on less projects, putting more quality and quality time in each, limiting myself to finishing things I've started and one new writing project in the year. And this actually can already translate into some tangible goals. Oops, let's put this up here. So in the tangible goals, I will also do a to-do list. So on writing, what I want to do is finish draft 4 of The Art of Summoning Demons, book 1, which will then lead to a secondary goal of Query Trenches. I would like to finish draft 4 and get back in the Query Trenches within Q1. So I'm just gonna put Q1 over here. If this fails, then I want to start the self-publishing work. So self-publishing journey, and that would be a Q2 or 3 potentially. I'll put it as 3 because I'll probably need a little bit of time. Start The Art of Summoning Demons, book 2. So that will allow me the start of 1 new project. And then I would like to finish draft 1 of Knights of Death. I would like to finish draft 2 of An Office Full of Monsters. And I would like to start writing project Snowstorm, draft 1. So all of these have now been added, so I can delete them. Social media. And let's copy this, so I have both. Less social media platforms, more intentional in producing content. And a secondary goal is that I want to do, not that I've been doing that many at all, but I want to purposefully do less YouTube videos, but not high quality in the sense of super highly produced, but just thinking about what I generally want to talk through in these videos and making sure I don't do content for the sake of making content. Less YouTube videos, but better content. Okay, and that's going to translate into some tangible goals. So in my to-do list, in there, I would like to solo stream at least 1 time per month, which I've already been doing in 2024, and I'd like to continue doing that in 2025. And that sort of translates from me trying to be a little bit more intentional with my content on YouTube. I generally enjoy those writing streams, and I think they're really high productive moments for me. So they help me write or read, do other productive things sometimes. So I feel like that works within that concept. The second thing I want to do is to potentially plan my content a little bit better and think through scripting, or just think more about what videos I would like to post and prepare them better. So I'm just gonna plan out video content in advance. And I'd like to have at least 1 video per month if possible. And then something else, I guess, is going to be about other social medias. So I think potentially I would like to produce more short video content on TikTok and maybe on Instagram every now and then. A post on TikTok once a month, 1 time per month. And I think that's probably enough because, let's be honest, I don't do that much already right now. So I think I might separate the book buying from the clothes buying, for instance. So I'm just gonna put a new header here, and it's gonna be books. Mindset goal is to buy less books I won't read, focus on my existing TBR, and buy the book I want to read next every time. And I would like to read more high quality books, focus on learning, memorable reads. That's going to translate into my read 25 books. Another goal from that is, I think, going to be my existing physical TBR. I think I need to limit myself in buying new books as well. So maybe 1 new book a month. So 12 total. Clothes. Buy less items, better quality. Buy items that make more sense with my new fashion identity, that work in my wardrobe. So So that's all to do with one of the 24 things I did in 2024, which was to rethink my sort of fashion identity, what I want to wear to feel good and to feel like myself. So in order to achieve that, I feel like these are pretty easy to translate into tangible goals. No buy month, 6 times in the year. And I'm just gonna copy these. Buy only in these months. Save for bigger pieces. Oh, this 1 line a day I think goes into the writing. So let's add, that's another one. Declutter my wardrobe every quarter. I think that would be good. So that would be end of March, end of June, end of September, and end of December. There we go. Spending habits versus saving. The mindset idea is that I want to spend less money to do more later. Save for an all-inclusive holiday in September. Investing money for the future, being financially more free in the longer term. Yes, so I want to save for house stuff. And I want to invest every month. And then the house stuff, it's this. So I'm just going to put this here and turn into a to-do list. And really, we want to do the garden wall repair in Q1. The Villix window would definitely be in Q4 if I can manage, because that's the longest one to do. Yeah, so the goal is like invest money for the future to become more financially free in the long term. I think this is a good start, and then what I might do is sort these into quarterly goals if I can, or like monthly goals, etc. But I feel like that's a lot for my mind right now, and this is enough. I feel pretty happy and pretty good with this. So we've got our 2025 goals, and they all sort of fit into this word of the year philosophy. So my mindset goals around writing, the tangible goals that translates into my social media, books, clothing, and spending habits versus savings. I feel like that was a very productive, 25 minutes, however long that took me. I'm feeling excited for each of those, and I think everything is achievable. It's nothing too big, and it's nothing that's like, do this, do that every single week. But I hope that you enjoyed this kind of content, that it's giving you motivation for your own goals for 2025, and that you're thinking about them in the longer term and in a way that can help change your mindset, because I feel like that's always helpful to future me instead of just thinking shorter term and just what can I do next year. That makes me feel better about achieving small things when I know that in the longer term they're gonna have a bigger impact. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a like, leave a comment down below. I always try to respond to those whenever I can. Consider subscribing to my channel, ring that bell, all that jazz, and we'll see you guys in the next one.